Hello, my friend. My name is Matthias Ikakwiti from the Republic of Liberia here in West Africa. Um, I have the passion for learning and I have passion for teaching, especially teaching God's word. And I'm glad that you took the time to listen to this video. Please listen to the end. It might interest you. Let me ask you a question as we move further. When was the last time you came across an African methodology of expository preaching? I want you to think about it. When was the last time? Maybe on YouTube, maybe on Facebook, maybe on Google, on TikTok, on Instagram, or any other platform. When was the last time you came across an African methodology of expository preaching? Here's the second question I want to ask you. When was the last time you saw a video that taught you step by step on how to prepare an expository sermon from a Liberian African perspective? When was the last time you saw that video that taught you step by step on how to prepare an expository sermon from a Liberian African perspective? Well, after many research, I haven't seen any video from a Liberian African perspective on YouTube. I haven't seen any on Facebook. I haven't seen any on Google. No platform. And I'm sure that's the same situation with you. You have not seen any. It's so unfortunate. And that is the reason why I want to provide that step-by-step methodology of expository preaching from a Liberian African perspective. Well, in this journey with me, I'm going to stand on the shoulders of giants. I'm not going to stand in my own wisdom. I'm going to stand on the shoulders of the giants from the Bible, but I'm also going to stand on the shoulders of giants in contemporary life. So I'm going to be looking at a professor whose work we will examine. The professor's name is James Braga, Professor James Braga. He's a very good writer. He wrote a book titled How to Prepare a Bible Message. How to Prepare a Bible Message. He's very experienced in that. In fact, the book is really, really simple. It teaches you step by step on how to prepare an expository sermon. But guess what? That is from an American context. Yes, it's from an American context. Well, also, we're going to be looking at this guy, this other writer. The guy name is Bryan Chapell. He wrote this book titled Christ-Centered Preaching, Redeeming the Expository Sermon by Bryan Chapell. This book is really a unique book. We're going to be having some of our contents coming from this book, and as well as Professor James Braga's book. We'll be standing on their shoulders to know how to prepare an expository sermon step by step. Well, not just that, we're also going to stand on the shoulder of Servants of the Word, a ministry that is run here in Liberia and also in the Gambia. There's a manual that is called How to Understand the Bible. How to Understand the Bible is a teaching manual for the preachers who attend or the students who attend that class. And there are some things that are really important from that book that we're going to be learning as well. So the ministry is called Servants of the Word School of Ministry. It's in Gambia and also is in Liberia. Well, then finally, we're going to be looking at a Liberian giant. I call him a Liberian giant. And this is a book that is from a professor who is currently the president of the Liberia Baptist Theological Seminary, Professor Momolu Armstrong Masakwe. He wrote this book titled A Handbook of Expository Preaching. Now, if you read this book, it has the mandate, the methodology, and the model for expository preaching. Now, in each of these books, there are different preaching series to look at. For example, you look at the textual preaching, you look at the topical preaching, and you look at the expository preaching. But we are mostly focused on, or I'm mostly focused on the expository preaching methodology. In the near future, we will look at textual preaching and topical preaching. But as I said, I'm focused on expository preaching methodology. So we'll be looking at James Braga, we'll be looking at Brian Chappell, we'll be looking at Servants of the Word, how to understand the Bible, and then Professor Momodu Armstrong Masakwe. In fact, Professor Momodu Armstrong Masakwe will mostly, his book will be used mostly in these sections because his book is a Liberian context base. Okay, so it's from a Liberian perspective, and that's what we're going to be looking at. He's a Liberian author, and I also want I want to use this Liberian author. So stay tuned. I hope you enjoy the sections as we go through. By the time you see me, the first lesson we're going to be looking at is the subject of the passage. We're going to be looking at how to study the passage, the pericope of the passage, to identify the subject. Thank you very much for your patience. Please subscribe and also share this video with somebody who you think will benefit from it. Thank you.